What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning. Everyone should be able to hear me. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys had a great day yesterday. Thursdays I don't live stream, so couldn't really give out the plan, but we had an amazing day. We had a great day. We traded BPTH at the day's low. This is where we caught BPTH. Right here on this 506, right? So turned out perfect. So today we're gonna get into our runners. Okay, so first we have ZCMD. There's no news. Okay, so we're gonna pull up ZCMD, and let's kind of check out that chart. So I have a little bit of drawings that I have put out so far, but this is where I'm looking to add ZCMD. Now let me show you why. So first things first, let's look at a little bit of the structure. So let's pull out our trend line and mark out from first high. Okay, we're going to look at the second high. Okay, so we did not break this initial high, right? So this tells us we're in a downtrend, right? So when we mark this out, we're just going to keep extending it. Okay, so we have a high here, and as soon as we break and retest the level or this trend line on ZCMD, we break out. Okay, now let's mark out an uptrend line. We can do from 4 a.m. to right here. This is bigger. There's smaller trend line setups in here, but we want to make sure that we're looking at the bigger picture now. So we start from here, we continue the trend line, and we have a point of confluence at this demand zone with this trend line. So that's what I would be looking for. Along with that, since we've already broken this trend line, I'm going to delete this one. Okay, that was just to show you guys. Now what I'm looking for is something like this. Okay, set up in here, set up within here, touch my demand zone, and then breakout retest. That's what I would want. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but ideally this is what I would want to come out of the stock. Okay, now where did I get this demand zone from? So let me delete these drawings. Okay, let's go to the daily chart. Now, one thing about the daily chart that I usually say is look for areas where sellers came in, right? So typically we look for big demand or big supply, right? So this would be our big supply. So 320 would be our final price target, right? Because this is the candle right here before the massive move down, okay? This candle right here is the candle before the massive move down. Now, you guys see there's also, it aligns with being a high volume candle, right? So this is the volume, this is the candle that made a big move down. That's going to be our supply. But if you look a little bit closely, there is a big wick within this high volume candle, right? There's a wick right there. There's a nice wick right here. So what does that tell us? A high volume wick. So now that we've broken over this, now we've recovered this whole move right here, right? We've broken this structure, okay? So we can draw a line here just in case, just to kind of mark out that structure. But now that we've broken over this structure and we're tapping this 320, you guys can see we tapped 320, right? Midday. So we go back to the daily. We tap 320. Now we're looking for a pullback into this demand zone, okay, for a move back up. That makes sense? High volume candle. This is the candle that has supply. So we completely draw down. Now we're reclaiming these levels. We're starting to reclaim. So a pullback into this high volume lower wick is going to be what I'm looking for in an entry. So on the intraday, it would look something like this. And to open. Okay. That's what it would look like if we do set up, right? These are all probability trades. So we want high probability trades. I think this is a high probability setup at this zone. So when it comes down to this zone, especially with the uptrend, right? Uptrend line, that's really what I'm watching. I'm hawking that down. That makes sense? All right, so that's pretty sound and clear on ZCMD. Now let's check out some other runners. Is that clear on ZCMD what we're looking for while we found our key levels? Let me know in chat. High volume candle, supply starting to flip into demand. Right, we're getting close. That makes sense? All right, so let's move on. AULT. Entry? Entry would be off of this demand zone. That's what I'm looking for. When it comes down to this demand zone, I'm looking for this uptrend line to hold probably towards this area. Now, just because I say this is the plan, that's why I'm not saying as soon as it comes down to this level, you just buy. Because that's what amateurs do. You look at price action, you see how is this demand zone reacting? Because we have a high volume demand zone from the daily chart. So there should be a lot of buyers when it comes down there. It shouldn't be weak, right? If there's little volume, if there's very minimal buyers, then I don't care about that setup right now. I'm looking for big buyers coming in. I'm looking for that demand zone to hold up really well because that's a massive demand zone from the daily with high volume. So once again, we should have high volume off of that demand zone. All right. Hopefully that's clear. Now let's move on to AULT. All right. So AULT, I have my lines drawn out here as well. So we do have it looks like we do have a PR here. All right, we have a PR here. I think we had a $4 million investment, either 40 or 4 into the company or something like that. Anyway, we do have news. So you guys can see I have my little demand zones drawn out. Let me show you why I got them. So first things first, we're going to go to the daily. And what did I just say? We're going to look for areas that had massive resistance, right? Are now flipping into support. So this was a massive drawdown on this candle, right? This candle open was a massive drawdown. So once we open above this level and retest it, we're looking for a move back up, okay? I'm also going to mark out this demand zone right here because there's previous buyers on the daily. So we're looking for this area to flip into support, right? This old massive resistance area to flip into support, this candle open, because it had a massive drawdown, plus previous buyers in this area. So this is our add zone. So we have broken over it. Next time it pulls back into here, we're looking for something like this, like a little downtrend break. Okay, we're looking for a little setup, look for a downtrend break off our demand, and then take that entry, okay, for a move up. That's what we would be looking for. Okay, so that's exactly what's going on right now. We go to the 1 minute chart, we have broken out right here. We're looking for pullbacks into this level. Now, I like that this engulfed this whole candle, right? So this tells us, hey, buyers are here. This one candle engulfed the whole thing. We've pretty much engulfed this whole move. So we've taken out liquidity here, right? We've rated that liquidity. Okay, all the liquidity right here, we've already taken it out. So now we're going to look for pullbacks into this demand zone again. All right, this is what I'll be looking for. Pull back into demand zone, hold up, break out, hold this structure, and then break out. That makes sense? You guys can't hear me well? All right. Okay. All right. All right, we're chilling. Okay, so we're looking for we saw the dip back into this level. We're looking for we saw the pop, right? So we held that key level. Now we're looking for a dip and a reclaim of this 33.5. Okay, so dip back into demand. That's where I'll be interested. I'll look at what's going on, which levels are how are buyers stepping in. So I'll keep an eye on the volume. I'll keep an eye on the tape and the level 2, and see how we kind of react here. So AULT, I'm pretty bullish as well, right? At these levels, because we have our perfectly key levels. Our price targets, Be right here. Right, we're probably going to stuff into 34.5 and then stuff into next level would be like right here, 36. So there isn't a lot of room on the stock. Okay, we reclaim this level. There isn't a lot of room on the stock, right? From 33 to 35. It's good. It's not bad, but there isn't a crazy amount of room just based on the price target. So let's see what we get right here. So overall, bigger picture trend would be this. Let me delete this. Okay, bigger picture trend is right here. So eventually what we want to see is consolidation. I think this level, this trend line is going to be a magnet to hit one more time before we do dump it, right? So one more time, hit the magnet. Probably something like this. Either we consolidate around this level or dip down in demand and then hit this level, right? So that would be our risk reward. Now let's go to the third ticker. By the way, everything you guys see here is in the Discord. So let's check it out. Okay. What's next? Ooh, looks like I deleted that. AGBA is running. By the way, I think it's the same exact news as yesterday, which is kind of weird. $44 billion. I don't know why they would repost it or put it out again, but let's check it out. Okay. So, okay, I did not draw out key levels on AGBA so far today. The other two I did, but these are levels from before. So let's see what our structure is looking like. So we have a line right here, right? We have a high here. We're kind of turning into support. So we're cracking down below right now. Now there's two things that can happen. We grab all stop losses here, reclaim and push, which I do not think is going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen because we also have a lot of sellers from yesterday, right? So this is a day 2 runner. We're going to have a lot of sellers from yesterday. All this area, what do we talk about? Big demand zone and big supply zones, right? So look at this. Look at this level right here. Boom, 144. That right there is a massive move down. Massive move down. Right? So the two key levels that we want to hold is this zone, right? So once we hold 133, we're looking for PT to 144. But once 144 holds, you guys see 144 rejection right here. What's yesterday? Massive supply from 144. Same thing. Same thing we've been talking about in the supply and demand video that I just posted. Make sure you guys check that out. Same thing that we've been talking about on the daily charts, supply and demand. There's a massive drawdown here. So what's going to happen next time? Probably a massive drawdown. So now what we would want to see from just simple levels is a 133 reclaim for next leg, right? 133 reclaim for next leg. Right now, you guys can see we're clean rejections. So we're looking for a move back to, what's that next level that we have to hold? Probably down to like 123, right? If we don't hold 133, we're looking to go back to 123. So this is what we would look for, a reclaim of 133. If not, we're going back to 123. And this, again, this 123 tap would be equal lows. So that would be a good entry. Right now we're trying to hold the uptrend, right? But it looks pretty weak. So I think we're coming back all the way down to 123. So any pop here is just going to be liquidity. We'll see. You guys can see a lot of buying pressure coming in and no move to the upside. So I would think either pull back to this entry like 123 is clean, or a full breakout. You do not buy the breakout and look for a pullback into this level when it's clear that we're actually in trend, right? So you don't buy the breakout because that's risky. That's super high risk, low probability trade. That's how you lose money. Don't care if it breaks out, you play the pullback, right? You buy the dips. So here's that 133 pullback that we would look for, and then look for that next leg, okay? What else do we have? There's not that many runners today. We have TPET, which is running on the oil, right? The oil pop between Iran and Israel, right? So let's see. Big volume right here. Recovered this move. We broke structure, so pullbacks would be looking for a downtrend break. Right, so I'll look for pullbacks, probably. You guys see what I'm looking for? I'm looking for this seller to flip into demand. So basically all these sellers right here are now flipped. So I would look for like a hold of this right here. That make sense? I'll just watch price action. Right? I'll just watch price action there. Oh, there's the answer to your question. Do I have a live trading room? I forgot to turn that little thing on. But yeah. We'll get back to that. So I'm probably not going to trade TPET. Right? We have, I don't know. It depends. So like right now, there's no clear plan. Doesn't look like anything wants to go. Except the two. The ZCMD is probably my top watch. Right? Into this demand zone. Right, ZCMD is my top watch into this demand zone. Tap that level one to open. What I do like, okay, I'm pretty confident now in ZCMD. Right, I like that before touching this demand zone, we're getting buyers too. So now we're wiping out this whole move. We might not tap this demand zone, but we'll see. All right, but this is probably the only thing that other traders are also watching. We're getting tighter and tighter, but if we don't touch this demand zone, we're going to top out at 292, right? Because we talked about supply and demand. There's a lot of sellers right here. A lot of sellers. What happened on what's it called? AGBA. What happened on AGBA when there's a lot of sellers? 142, right? 144. What happened on AGBA? Boom, rejection. Off of this supply zone, right? So same thing again, supply zone. We're probably going to reject 294 and this upper trend line, right? Let's see what happens. Let's kind of observe it. It's a massive move. That's a massive move. Anyway, we'll kind of see how these setups form out. I'm going to have my scanner open, trade ideas. I'm going to be screen sharing over there with the team. So if we see anything else come up, then sure, right? But right now, these are kind of like my watches. It's not like a super confident day. By the way, remember, it's a Friday. Friday, we don't really know. Sometimes Fridays are hot, sometimes Fridays are weak, right? So it all just depends. So I'm not looking to put on too much risk on the table, just looking at pre-market, especially with AGBA running on that same fluff news. So not fluff news, but the fact that it's running again on the same news I don't like that. Right, so we're rejecting this trend line here. But anyway, we should be able to make some money, right? We'll capitalize on something, but you guys see that perfect trend line rejection right here. That, we're coming into this supply that we just talked about and we're rejecting, right? Coming into that same supply, pull back. And what's one thing that I don't talk about much, but it's very important, right? I talk about it with my team on Voice, is that volume rotation. So because I know we're going to top out soon, most traders see this trend line, right? Most traders see this trend line, so they start kind of switching over to AGBA, right? The volume rotates into AGBA. Look at that rejection, right? Look at that rejection. Now, all that volume all the retail volume, they're going to take their losses and they're going to float into somewhere else. And now, what's something that you want to look for in ZCMD once volume rotates? So, if volume rotates from ZCMD to AGBA, but if volume rotates into AGBA, but we see these key levels holding, we're like, okay, now once AGBA dumps, we're going to look for volume rotation back into this into ZCMD. That makes sense? So volume rotation, retail volume is going to flip from here to here. That's what FOMO is. That's why when you see a stock running, you guys have FOMO, I have FOMO, right? We see it, we're like, oh my gosh, let me switch over to this stock. So everyone in the world has that same internal feeling. They're like, okay, let me switch over to this stock. Let me switch over to this one, right? So it's that FOMO that shifts the volume. They sell their positions in XYZ and move over to ABC, right? Because they see that has the volume. So that's how volume rotation works. I hope you guys learned something from this video and this live stream. Make sure you guys check out that supply and demand video that I posted yesterday. It'll make your trading completely simple and easy. Make sure you guys subscribe and drop a like. If you guys want to come trade with me right now, right, we have scanners and that whole daily gainers where you can watch it updates. We're going to be looking at the top gainers. So check out the link right here, mmlinks.co/7days, or the top link in the description. It says 7-day free trial. Come trade right now with me. I'll post a link on Twitter and on Discord as well. So come check that out. Make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like. Best of luck. Do not overtrade. Remember, it's a Friday, right? So if you guys want to come trade with me, make sure you guys join that. Other than that, peace out. Stay safe.